Elizabeth.
Did the
Go back to you
race,
guys.
did the race end up helping get the drug cartel out? Did anything?
Good question. Sometimes a lot of people ask me whether this was helpful or harmful. You know, maybe the attention to the Talamada is the opposite of what could have helped. The drug violence is worse now than it's ever been throughout Mexico. The only hopeful news is that if this were a bad situation, the first people who would take off would be the Talamada. This race is bad for them, they'd be gone. Our year, 20 Talamada runners turned up, which shocked the hell out of me when we did 20 turned up. Last year, 270 Talamada runners turned up. Caballo's done this race every single year, and it grows bigger and bigger all the time. So, I don't know if there's a direct cause and effect with helping, but there's definitely the Talamada on the race. Yes, sir. In back?
I came in late, you may have covered it.
Let me start over then.
How do you suggest someone starting out who wants to do this, running in place that you mentioned?
Yeah, it's a really difficult thing because there are very few people out there now who are teaching running form. I only know of a handful scattered literally throughout the world. You think of like 6 people across planet Earth that are teaching proper running form. So it's very difficult. You tell people, oh, I want to learn how to run. Well, where? It's a difficult thing to solve. There are 2 things I'd recommend. One is if you go online, Google a guy named Lee Saxby. He's got a really good training video. It's like a 7-minute training video. Look at that. But the second thing is take your shoes off in the morning. Get the shoes off your feet. You know, your feet have as many nerves in them as your fingertips or your lips. They're not there by accident. They're there to actually give you information. Take your shoes off. And I always experiment with that running in place drill. I found the one thing that once you do it and get the feel, and then go off and run, then you'll really benefit from it. And as far as the shoes are concerned is, you know, I'm not anti-shoe, I'm anti-corrective shoe. If you have a thin shoe that's there for protection, no problem. But get a sense of your foot first and then add the shoe later. More? Sir?
Do you still keep in contact with the tribal gang?
No, because there's no way to contact them. They don't have, they're a literate tribe, they don't have a written language, no outside communications at all. I haven't been back to the race, and I'm really questioning whether I will because it's pretty dangerous down there. And I'm not sure if it's worth the risk to me personally to go back down there. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. I love Caballo's race. I think it's a great thing, but I can't overlook the fact that I was really glad to get back out of there. So, what a good young fellow like yourself. No, I've not been back in touch with Talamada since then. Yes.
Did the Caballo know about this pride, like when you ran there the first time? Like, how did you end up there?
You know, it's kind of cool. I recently came across a video. Well, to answer your question, Caballo had an encounter with the Talamada in 1994. Remember that picture I told you about, the old guy running the race? In 1993 and 1994, a small group of Talamada were brought up to Leadville to run the Leadville Trail 100. In 94, Caballo was there, and he was recruited to be a pacer for one of the Talamada runners. So he was the 50-mile mark. So he ran 50 miles through the mountain with the Talamada runner, and was so shaken by the experience that he decided he was just going to chuck everything and move down to Kansas with him. What was so cool is he told me this story. And then I saw a video recently of the finish of the Leadville Trail 194, and there's this moment where you can actually see Caballo for like a tenth of a second. He comes in with his runner, and right before the finish line, Caballo sort of darts off to the side. So it was just so bizarre to actually see him 15 years ago at that moment when he decided he was going to follow him.
What do you think about the barefoot running shoes, the 5-finger shoes that I think Barefoot Ted Brady has gone on to promote?
Yeah. The question about the Vibram 5-fingers shoes, they're a great shoe. I'm really happy with the shoe. My only qualm about minimal shoes is that, is Andrew here? Is Andrew who works at Inside Track?
Matthew has
Is Matthew?
No, he's not here.
His name is Matthew?
Yeah.
The guy named Matthew works Inside Track in Harrisburg was asking, he said, you know, the guys that come in, they're actually a little bit offended by, these big fat guys who are 55 years old. Dude, who are you talking to? But he said these big fat guys, 55 years old, come in and want to leave their 5 fingers and run those right off the bat. The problem with that is that people are still following the same patterns. They're trying to buy their way out of trouble. You know, instead of trying to learn something, they're trying to buy something. So the V1.5 fingers are great shoes, but if you just buy those and think they're magically going to transform your running form, they're not. You're going to end up getting hurt. So it's a great shoe, but you have to learn how to use them first. So what I would do is I should learn how to run properly first, and then pick out the shoe you want. Any more? Yes.
I know you said between your business and the race there's about a 9-month period. How long did it take you to transition from regular shoes to running pair?
You know, that's a great question too. So what happened during that 9-month cycle was the first thing I focused on was running form. And there's a guy named Ken Murky in Annapolis, Maryland, who's a great running form coach. And so I went down to see him, and I really focused, he put a metronome on me. So there I am in the southern end of Lancaster County, running past horse and buggies, wearing my little like red metronome, go beep, 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 as I'm prancing on by, trying to lift my feet up properly. But, and Luis has actually seen this in action, right? But, so I really focused on running form a lot, and I was intoxicated by how good it felt. It felt different than anything I ever felt before. It felt good, but as things went on, I started to focus more and more on more volume, more speed, getting stronger and faster. And so what happened was over the course of that 9 months was initially I focused on form, and then later on I was focusing on training and volume. So at the end of the 9 months, my form had actually started to deteriorate. I wasn't aware of it because I was still wearing the Nike Pegasus thick cushion running shoe. My mentality back then, this is 2005, my mentality was, well, as long as your form's okay, it doesn't matter what you're on your feet. What I didn't realize was it does make a difference because you're not getting any feedback from the ground. So as my form started to degenerate, I wasn't aware of it. So what happened in the 9 months was my heel started hurting, and I couldn't figure out why. Some video game showed me I was running improperly. So what I started to do from that point on is focus on form all the time. It's now been, 4 or 5 years, and I feel like I'm still transitioning all the time. I don't think there's an easy answer. A guy like Jerry does it naturally, does it no problem. Guys like me, it's a constant thought process of practice and awareness. Alex? Yes, sir.
Could you describe the reaction or relationship with the manufacturers of the padded supported shoe and your movement?
Yeah, it's interesting because early on, when the book first came out, I was just like, here comes a lawsuit. And it was funny because we didn't hear from the shoe companies at all. No murmur whatsoever. What they started to do is, I realized they're not in the business of like arguing with mouthy reporters, they're in the business of selling shoes. So when they realized people wanted minimalist shoes, they just started to mass produce them. The minimal shoe market, which was virtually non-existent 2 years ago, is now a $1.7 billion industry. It's the one aspect of shoes globally which is skyrocketing. It's gone up 237% in the past 12 months. So the shoe companies, what are they doing? They're doing what they always do, which is sell you whatever the hell you want without telling you how to use it. So unfortunately, the difficulty is that some of them other products, but there's no instruction to go along with it. And I think people are going to get hurt and they're going to have problems and they're not going to realize why. That's been the response. Be quiet and sell more stuff.